Hello students, in the last class we have discussed the application of Ampere circuit law. Today we will discuss some more application of Ampere circuit law. So in that we will consider a current loop field. So using Biot-Savart's law, we previously found the magnetic field on z-axis from a circular current loop. So you can observe in the figure where x, y, z axis, and on the current loop field ideal, that is equal to nothing but IA d phi a phi, which is having a radius a. So using that same loop field, so we previously found the magnetic field on a z axis from a circular current loop, that is H is equal to I pi a square az divided by 2 pi into bracket a square plus z square naught raised to 3 by 2. Okay, so this whatever we have found the magnetic field, so we use this result as a building block to construct the magnetic field on the axis of a solenoid. So whatever we have got this expression, that is for magnetic field for the circular current loop, we use this as a building block to construct the magnetic field on the axis of a solenoid, formed by the stack of identical current loops centered on the z-axis. Means it is formed by the stack of identical current loops which is centered at the z-axis. So the purpose of this equation is what? It can be used to apply to the solenoid. Okay, so that is what we have developed in Biot-Savart's law, right? Using Biot-Savart's law. So H is equal to, okay. So next, as I told you, we are going to see the expression to be calculated for solenoid. So here we consider a single current loop field. So you can see in the figure the solenoid is there with a d as a length of the stack along the z-axis, rho as is equal to a, which is a radius, and n is a number of turns, right? So in this solenoid, what we do is so we want to calculate the magnetic field on the axis field, right? So within the solenoid, right? So we consider the single current loop field as a differential contribution to the total field from a stack of n closely spaced loops, each of which carries a current I. So means what is the thing is, so totally there are many number of loops, means loops are there. So in that we'll consider only single current loop. In the solenoid many number of loops are there, so in that we'll consider one single current loop. So where the we can tell it as a differential field, right? So differential field, so each will carry a current I. So the length of the stack is no total length of the stack, that is nothing but solenoid, is d. So therefore the density of the turns will be n by d now. So it is, as totally length number of turns is n for each, so density will be n by d, right? So now now the current in the turns when the differential length dz will be, so as I told you, as you calculate the di, so that will be n by d I into dz, right? So here you can estimate the value of di. So now we consider this as a differential current loop. So di, that is a differential current loop, right? Now as we have got the previous results for h from a single loop, so h, that is equal to I pi a square az divided by 2 pi a square plus z naught square raised to 3 by 2 Now the equation it becomes as dH is equal to n by d I dz pi a square az divided by 2 pi a square plus z square raised to 3 by 2. So just this expression whatever you have got, it is for a solenoid, so dH value, right? Now in which z is measured from the center of the coil, so where we wish to find out evaluate the field from that axis, right? So this is the on axis field within the solenoid. So as we got the value of dH, right? Now next solenoid field will be continued. So as I told you, the total field on the z axis at z is equal to 0 will be the sum of field contribution from all the turns in the coil, or integral of dH over the length of solenoid. If you want to calculate the total field on the z axis, so the sum of field contribution from single turns will be added, and or you can make the integral over dH, that can give you the total field. So therefore H is equal to integration of dH is equal to integration over the limits minus d by 2 to d by 2. So n by d I dz pi a square az divided by 2 pi a square plus z square raised to 3 by 2. So this can be now again have a simplified version, n I a square divided by 2d az integration over limits minus d by 2 dz divided by a square plus z square raised to 3 by 2. Now after simplification what you will get, n I a square divided by 2d az, so that is d divided by a square into root of a square plus d by 2 square. Now final simplification value will be what, n I az divided by 2 raised to 2 square root of a square plus d by 2 square, right? So this is the value of H for a solenoid field. So totally if you want the field due to solenoid, there is the H value. Okay, so now here we want the approximation for long solenoids, so you can consider the same figure. So we now have the on axis field at a solenoid, that is midpoint z is equal to 0, that is H is equal to n I a z divided by 2 into root of a square plus d by 2 square, right? Now for long solenoid what happens is the value of d will be much more greater than a. So if it happens, so actually what happens is H is equal to n I a z divided by d. So total value we can consider if your d is much more greater than a. So the expression for H will be changed now. So that is ni divided by d into az. So this result is only valid at all on axis position deep within long coils at the distance from each end of several radii, right? So next, so another interpretation we can do is we can consider a continuous surface current, so in the solenoid only. So the solenoid of our previous example was assumed to have many tightly wound turns with a several existing within a differential length dz, right? So so what we can do here is we could model such a current configuration as a continuous surface current density, that is K is equal to K A5 ampere per meter. Means you can make it each sheet as a continuous surface current, right? Of a density K is equal to K A5. So you can see in the figure, so there is a K is equal to K A5. Now the expression for that is K is equal to K A5 is equal to Ni divided by D A5. So where in that K is nothing but Ni divided by D. Now therefore whenever H is under rho is equal to Z is equal to 0, so the expression will be K A D A Z divided by 2 root of a square plus d by 2 square. So means you have to consider the if continuous surface current is considered, the value of rho and z will be equal to 0, right? So now whenever you have d is much more greater than a, so the expression for h will be ka az. So in other words, what we can tell is on axis field magnitude near the center of cylindrical current sheet, where current circulates around the z-axis and whole length is much greater than its radius, is just the surface current density. Okay, so actually what is that? We can tell it as just the surface current density. So we can have such another interpretation for a solenoid, that is a continuous surface current, right? So the current of whatever we circulate around the z-axis over the whole length, if it is much greater than its radii, then it is nothing but considered to be as a surface current density. Thank you.